Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the GC360 podcast. I'm your host, Katherine O'Connell, and today I'm joined with Sonia and Eugene of Zenyaah Aroma. Hey guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your business?
So we are making hand-pour pure coconut soy wax candles that last almost double the time, and they smell awesome. Smell it.
Oh, it is so amazing. So how long do you think this would last for?
That will last about 50 hours.
50 hours, wow, that's a lot of burning time. Oh, it smells so good. So how'd you guys get started with Zenyaah Aroma?
So 2 years ago, during pandemic, as a data scientist, working with heavy data and engineering, I was burning a lot of candles. Had my instrumental music going in the background, but burning a lot of candles, and we were sharing an office together. And he was getting affected by these candles, and he will feel tired, eyes would get itchy, reddish, and we started to break it down like, hey, is it this, is it that, and then we got to the point where it's just candles. Yeah. And he was like, well, you need your peace, and he was like, I need to have my eyes together so I could work. And so we were like, we need to, figure out what's wrong. And it turns out it was the fragrance.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the candles that we were using, they were pure coconut or blended coconut, blended soy candles, but essential oils. And it turns out that actually, once you burn that turns into toxin. A lot of the other candles where I got them as gifts, they were made of paraffin, and paraffin also turns into toxin. Wow. So we started to look up a lot of things, and we were like, no, we need to kind of create something that is natural and, not toxic. And especially if you burn it, you don't want it to turn into toxic. So we were like, the engineering in him came out, and he does have a biomedical engineering background.
Wow.
So he was like, no, we have to, we have this problem, now how do we fix it? So the fragrance was like the first part where like, okay, we need to figure out like, how do we get clean fragrance? So we got that checked. And then it became, how do we make this candle last longer, right? Because you're paying for this product, you want it to enjoy to the very little, like to the very max, right? So we got to the point where we did a lot of testing and made sure that the candle is burning fully, so it doesn't turn into like tunneling or any wastage, right?
Yeah.
And then we were just constantly going into it, and I'm looking at this now, and you see this little glitter? It's not glitter. It's actual crushed quartz.
Ooh.
So we made sure it was natural.
Yeah, so that's something safe to be burnt as well.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure it must have taken you guys a long time to trial and error this and try to figure out, okay, what's the right consistency? What's the right formula to make this?
Yes. Yes, and there is a, so all our candles are pure coconut soy. And there's a fine point on, especially if you want to do like any whip candles or any molds, there's a fine point where you could have it where it doesn't melt, but it keeps on giving off the fragrance.
Right.
And it's a very fine point. So you have to make sure like the temperature, the amount of wax we have from both the soy and coconut, everything is mixed together correctly with the timing and everything. So yeah, it's very, very delicate process. It's a 4-day process to make these candles.
4 days, wow.
Yeah.
That's very complex. But you can smell it, even though you're not burning the candles right now. It's very fragrant. I'm smelling pretty much every single one of them. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What else besides that sets these candles apart, besides the composition of it?
So right now, what you just mentioned, all of these candles, right? You're smelling all of them. It doesn't give you a headache, right?
No, not at all.
It doesn't give you that chemical aftertaste, right?
Yeah.
It's because they're clean fragrance.
Wow.
So that's one of the reasons. So if you walk into a store where there's a lot of Zenyaah Aroma candles, you're not going to have that headache where you walk into a candle store.
Yeah.
Because these are clean fragrances. So that's one. We have maintained the fact that we want to keep all natural ingredients. So make sure that we have pure coconut and soy. The longer burn time. Even the glitter, it's crushed quartz. And we wanted to make it pretty. So all of our candles have like this pretty marble.
Oh, wow.
And the whip, or if it is not whip, we also have like a little topper going on.
Oh.
Yes.
That looks difficult.
Thank
so there's
you.
probably lots of different molds and such that you guys have to put each of these in. So I'm assuming it's a very like time and very detailed, consistent process. So at least you were able to do that during the pandemic. I know a lot of people felt as though they needed something to occupy their time. So it's really astonishing that you guys were able to come up with this kind of formula and then able to bring it out and also use your backgrounds and what you guys have knowledge in. So, you know, how do you feel as an engineer? How do you feel that played into you partaking in creating this?
I think the part that I enjoyed the most was doing the testing and like trial and error, figuring out, okay, what works, what doesn't work. And then like once we figured out one step, we had to like, okay, what's next? And then the next step, sometimes we would have to like, oh wait, no, we have to rethink the whole thing and then kind of go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And essentially figure out all the processes of how to put the candle together as well.
Yeah.
Because you have to follow like certain temperatures that we have to pour the wax at,
Right.
so that it cools correctly and that they end up looking as great as they look.
That's very interesting. How long would you guys say it took for you guys to come up with the exact formula that you're still using on these candles here?
About 2 years.
2 years, wow. So it must have been like this giant light bulb moment when you guys were able to figure out, oh, this is it. This is the right formula. That's so interesting. So how did you guys even come up with the packaging and how the display was going to be?
So we wanted to keep like a luxurious look to it. So we do have like a box which opens up like this.
Ooh.
And so we have our logo. It says aroma that elevates your mood. So obviously, as soon as you start smelling them, you're like, oh, it smells like ice cream. It smells like this. And that's what we want. We want everyone to like open up our candles and smile. And we need more of that. And then on top of that, it says luxurious candles, hand poured in New York by both of us. And it opens up like this.
It's so cute.
So it's like the perfect gift, even for yourself.
Really is,
and at the very back, it says engineered to perfection.
Seriously, it is. That's such a nice gift to give people. And I really enjoy all of the colors, the design. I mean, it must have taken you guys a long time to try to figure out even the design on the front. So how did you manage to design that?
Lots of artwork and graphics and put together,
really cool. Yes. So does that kind of play into what you do?
Yes. So I always wanted to go into art. And so I started off doing pictures, fine arts, and then my life took me towards engineering, software engineering, data science, right? And part of me always wanted to go back to that because that's where I started off. And so when it comes to this packaging, the logo, everything, that was like basically created by my brain, approved by him, basically.
Yeah, so it was definitely a team effort.
Yes, yes.
That's so cool. Where do you guys see Zenyaah Aroma going in the future?
Well, many different directions. We will love to make more candles, provide to a lot of different locations, as well as get into soaps.
Cool. Yeah. Where are you guys currently selling the candles?
On Zenyaah Aroma, Zenyaah.com.
Okay, so mostly on websites. Do you go to like any kind of craft fairs or schools, or you know?
So we are mainly found on at craft fairs.
Yeah, this is been our first year that we've been doing craft fairs, and we've been getting a lot of traction there.
Yeah.
So we wanted to spread the word.
Yeah.
Lots of encouragement because this was like our first time in years where I'm basically coming back to art, and I have these candles out, and like within a couple of hours, they're all gone. So it's a really nice sign. Everyone loves the fact that it's a natural product, and you know we don't have any essential oils or anything like that that's bad for pets and things like that. So I just have like people picking it up like, what is this? Can we have it? Like, I guess, like, you know,
Yeah.
and a lot of times people are buying it for like decorations. It's just
Yeah.
not only a candle, but it's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
like a decoration. It reminds you of something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would be the next step for you guys to get the candles out there? Are there any places that you guys would like to take them in the future, or?
I think we're looking to, I guess, reach out to maybe more like commercial clients and try to do partnerships or wholesale,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, I think that's great. So, what other products do you think this could branch into?
Well, definitely soap.
As you mentioned before.
Yes. And there's a lotions, anything that has fragrances, you're able to kind of make something with this or branch out with the same
Wow.
fragrance. Like we have the strawberry cream, we could have a strawberry and cream soap, or
Yeah.
I don't, I'm thinking of, there's another thing I'm thinking of which I can't, my
That's okay. How did you guys come up with all the different scents? Like, what made you choose these particular scents?
So the fun part is that these are all the ones that we like.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about the vanilla chai one?
Yeah, so I love vanilla chai latte, and
Yeah,
to the
those are
point
really
where
good.
yes, and to the point where I'm like, I want to make this at home because I don't always want to drive out. I want this nice hot when I'm just watching TV or, you know, working. And I figured out how to make it, and I'm like, this smells good. And then the next thing you know, I have a vanilla chai latte candle.
Wow. 4 days later, you had one. That is so
Yes.
cool. So, is there like seasonal scents that you guys do that you kind of branch into in the holidays or in the fall?
Yeah, so one of our seasonal is pumpkin spice, apple spice. A lot of our fragrances are like seasonal. Like we have summer, which was watermelon.
Ooh.
So and it smelled like the watermelon like bubble gum.
Oh,
It
okay.
smells
Like
so
those
good.
watermelon rolls from like
Yes.
Friendlies or something.
No?
We have peaches, and a lot of people relate this to the peach rings,
Peach
candy.
rings. Well, I grew up in Georgia, so
Uh-huh.
Georgia peach everything, and I can say this is definitely Georgia approved. Definitely smells like Georgia peaches. It just really smells amazing. I can't even describe how good it sounds and smells. Sounds. I don't know what I'm saying.
It looks amazing, but it looks prettier when you burn it. So, because the fact that this has crushed quartz in it, so it never really settles to the bottom. And because of the heat, when you warm up the wax, it actually looks like it's moving around.
Oh wow.
So it looks very magical when you burn it.
Yeah. Like what about this little raspberry? How does that kind of move when you
So
start burning it?
So when it actually like burns all together, but it actually starts changing color, and that's one of the reasons why we marble the candles, because once you have yellow, and it starts burning, so it becomes light yellow, and then it turns into light green. So it starts
so
changing
it kind of
colors.
mixes a little
Yeah.
bit. So this one probably kind of turns a little
So
bit
like
more
pinkish.
pink.
Yeah.
See, very
Yes.
smart and scientific, but also very visually appealing as well. Wow.
We made sure to have like a little effect at every single point, not only by looking, smelling, but also when you burn it, what does it look like?
So, as a child, did you burn candles a lot? Did you try to make some before?
Yes. So I used to make candles. I used to even make gel candles.
Wow.
And yeah, and I had a lot of fun with it. And then now the fact that we got back into candles, once we got our formula together saying, hey, this is a peak and this is how the candles are going and this is the best wax. We got to the point where I was like, I want to have fun. And that's when we started doing the whipped candles, making it look like ice cream, and the design and the marbling. Yeah.
So the process must be very different from the whipped candles to the regular candles. How is that different?
So the whipped candle is very time consuming, and it's a lot of work, and you have to work fast because the the wax actually solidifies a little bit. So you want it to look like real whipped cream,
Yeah.
right? So you want it to look smooth
Yeah.
and quickly put down, basically.
Yeah, so what kind of tools do you have to use in order
I
to...
am using a piping bag.
Piping
So
bag, okay.
everything is done by hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no machines,
No.
everyone. Just your good old hands here. So that's almost like a real dessert. So
Yeah.
it really does look like a dessert, and it smells like one too. So that's very intriguing and very exciting.
And-
So how do you guys get these out to people? Like I assume you ship them. How do you guys ship them? Where do you ship them to?
So anywhere across U.S.
Okay.
We have shipped to California, North Carolina, Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been
Yeah,
selling to
basically
different.
through anywhere. If you buy through our website, we're able to, I think, UPS or USPS are the shipping options on there, and essentially, I think as long as it's in continental U.S., you'll get it.
Yeah.
Cool. So anybody in America can have these lovely candles.
Yes, and we actually make sure. So this packaging was actually with that in mind. So we always have a lid on top. And then we package it this way, but we also have a foam on the bottom, so it actually holds onto the candle. And then this gets packaged to make sure that
know,
at
it
the
doesn't
very end.
break, yeah.
Yes, yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
get deformed.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really exciting. So where exactly are the fairs that you've gone to on Long Island? Are they like, what's a specific one that you've gone to?
So I think so far we've focused on the fairs in Nassau County.
Okay.
So there was the last one we went to was the Bethpage Street Fair,
Bethpage Street Fair. Okay.
and there was an Eisenhower Park
Yeah.
Market Fair. There was one in Great Neck. I think there's also one that happens almost every month is in the
Okay.
Christopher Morley Park.
Okay.
So
We will be there.
Yeah. So are they like on the weekends or also during the week as well?
the we work full time. So,
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah, mostly
that's-
on the
yeah, that's
weekend.
probably
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
difficult to manage at times, you know. It's probably can be a little stressful, you know, if you're working and then you come home and you're like, oh, I got to make these candles for these orders.
I have to say the encouragement, especially the fact that like the smiles that we see, it's like, yeah, we definitely are making more peaches, or we're definitely making black raspberry. Like, we get excited. Honestly, we come home and we're like, oh, you know what? Let's make this today, or let's make that today. So we have a good time. And even like every single process, like every single candle, we actually work on it at the same time together
Oh,
to make sure that it's being put together correctly. It doesn't fall apart. It stays
Yeah.
together. The look comes together at the very end. So it's a partnership.
yeah. I mean, it must have been pretty strengthening for your marriage to be
Yes.
working on something together at the same time. That must be really cool to have a project that you guys are just working on together.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's very rewarding that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think everybody goes home and they're like, oh, I wish I had a hobby, or I wish I had something that I could fill my time with. This must have been like the perfect thing, especially during COVID. I mean, everybody was kind of just sitting around trying to figure things out, you know? So that's a really great project, and I'm so happy to see that you guys have been, you know, prospering off of it.
Yeah. Thank you. It's funny. I also remember that because this is coconut soy wax, the cocoa never like 100% solidifies. So this is why we keep on smelling it. Like my
I know,
mouth is
like,
watering.
it smells so good. It tastes, I mean, I don't know how it tastes,
I
but
know.
it smells like it tastes good. Like it makes me want to taste it.
Yeah.
Wow. What other flavors do you guys have besides the ones that are listed here?
So we have lavender.
Ooh.
We also have, and it's called just lavender because we want to make sure it's just lavender.
Yeah.
We have something, one of our bestseller is Elegance, which is dark sandalwood and dark musk.
Okay.
And then another one is Dark Night, which is black violet and dark musk. And we have vanilla, we have coffee bean. Actually, at one of the fairs, someone was like, oh, we have vanilla here. We need coffee here too. And we're like, really? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, let's try.
Yeah.
One of our best sellers is
Wow.
coffee bee.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first time we made probably like we made maybe 5 candles. We were like, all right, we'll give it a shot, and literally everything was gone within 2 hours.
Yes, we had like 3 people come in. They're like, we want this, 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 and this, and this. We actually tried cake for the first time,
Okay.
and it actually had like sprinkles and I actually wish to bring it here, but it's all sold. It's gone. Yeah,
Wow.
we were like
It's
thinking
not
we
a
need to
bad
bring it.
problem to have,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
What do you guys feel like your favorite flavors are?
I knew that question was coming. It really depends on my mood. So I have a candle that is passion. So whenever I'm working and I'm like in front of the computer, like spending hours, right? I have passion burning, which is white tea and hydrangea, and it has a little bit of citrus. So it has that like that positive energy, but like cooling, calming effect.
Wow.
So I have that is one of my like the one that I'm always using. But I used to drink a lot of coffee, and because I start, quieting down or like listening of that, I'm always burning coffee as well.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm always burning on coffee throughout the day. What about you, Eugene? What do you feel like is your favorite one?
I think I shy away from like the sweeter smell, so something like elegance, and we have another one called evergreen, which has more like cedarwood smell.
Okay, like
to it.
earthy scents,
Yeah.
like more like musk,
Yes.
deeper scents.
It's musky and maybe like woody, so
Yeah.
kind of like a pine forest.
Wow.
Yeah.
That kind of smell.
Yeah.
So I guess what I want to say is that we have a good mix of like the sweeter smells, fruity ones, but also not as much associated with food specifically that are not as sweet and more musky or something else.
Yeah, so you really have candles and scents for any person's preferences. And I'm sure these kind of give everybody a little bit of a different feel, you know? Have a lot of people given you feedback about how they feel?
Yes, we actually on Instagram. I actually had someone recently message me saying, "You could totally see that this is engineer. I feel so great and calming." And one of the other person messaged me. She's a yoga teacher, instructor, and she was saying that every single time I have my class going, I'm actually burning your candle, and it's always nice to see that. It's like it's just that is like our motivation, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. So what specifically would be the best way for somebody to contact you guys?
The website. We do have a chat on the website as well as Instagram.
Okay.
A message on Instagram. We're always checking, and we all are also on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything else you guys want to share about your candles?
Anything we missed?
I don't know, I think we covered everything.
Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for being a guest. I can't describe how amazing I think these candles are. They smell so good. They look beautiful. So thank you guys so much for being a guest here on GC360. And thank you guys for tuning in at home, and check out our next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.